Hey, good morning, everybody. I am popping in and I want to make sure that I am live. I see the little, there we go. Hey, how are you doing? I am going live actually in my group, Survival Mom Boot Camp. And good morning, everybody. Welcome. I was up pretty early this morning with a lot on my mind because we have a hurricane out in the Gulf and it's headed our way. And I happen to live in a town that was very, 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 very flooded by Harvey almost exactly 3 years ago this week. And so those of us who were here and we remember I'm just thinking, well, sometimes you can still go through some forested areas where there is debris way up high in the trees. And the waters did get really that high. And so this time around, my favorite weather reporters for this part of the country is Space City Weather. They are not like all hyped up, but when they are starting to warn us, hey, there could be a pretty severe storm in the Houston area. Now we're about 35, 40 minutes northeast of Houston, but we're still going to get whatever Houston gets, just not quite as bad. So we're hunkering down. We aren't planning on leaving anywhere, but I have a list. It's on the back of an envelope. I wanted to share with you what I am personally doing to get ready for the hurricane. And maybe some of these tips might be helpful for you. Maybe not a hurricane if you don't live in an area that's affected, but certainly a lot of other types of emergencies. Well, where did it go? Oh, I think it's over there on the counter. Um, Here's one of the things I'm doing. First of all, if you don't have something that looks like this in your preps, you are missing out. And I want you to go to Amazon right now, as soon as I'm done talking, whenever that's going to be, 5-10 minutes, I don't know, but you need to get one of these. This is a battery powered fan. It runs on D cell batteries. In fact, I just ran to the store today to get a couple extra packages, and this is a lifesaver. Okay, I mean, even if all you're dealing with is hot flashes, to be able to carry this around with you, or if you have a house where maybe there's a room or two where just the air conditioning doesn't really filter in very well, that is a lifesaver. And I don't know, maybe they're probably more than $10, but they're not very expensive. And so what I did is I bought one for each member of my family, 4. And my thought was that if there was a power outage and it was hot, we would at least individually have our own little cooling unit. And so once again, this brand, O2 Cool, is the one that I usually see, or I see pretty often on Amazon. It is going to be worth every penny. So what I am doing, some of you might know, I have a son actually who right now is in southwestern Louisiana, and he has just recently volunteered with an international relief agency. They're going through 3 months of training. They're going to be doing some language learning, and then they're going to go over to the Middle East, and he's going to volunteer in a really big tent hospital. So yeah, I mean, he's going to be hit by these storms too. So even though Marco is kind of fizzling out, Tropical Storm Marco is kind of fizzling, nevertheless, the rain is going to hit him, and we don't know which direction Laura is going to go, but for sure they're going to get the rain, and he is living on a ship. So I'm sending him one of these. I am sending him a Survival Frog solar lantern. And very, 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 very handy. This little green handle comes up if you want to carry it. And there's a latch here, and you pull it apart. And where is the latch? But it has a solar panel on the top. It's easy to use, and you can use it collapsed like this, or it has like a little accordion folded thing. You can pull it out and use it that way. So I figure that if he's in this ship, and if the power goes out, I'm sure they're on a generator, probably backup generator, but nevertheless, mom wants to make sure he's okay. And I'm also sending him a bag of Doritos. So putting those in the mail this morning, and we usually get like a 1-day delivery over there, so he should have those tomorrow. So what I'm doing, in addition to sending my son some survival things, he's going to open it and he's going to say, oh gosh, that's my mother, all right. All right, go ahead and, and mock. You'll thank me one of these days. But let me tell you what I'm doing here. First of all, my solar panels, I have a series of small solar panels. Those are all outside to make sure they are charged to the max. And of course, we have a cloudy day today. But nevertheless, it will just take longer for them to get charged. That's number one. Number two, my husband is making sure that our generator is ready to go. About 2, 3 months ago, I went on Savory Butcher, savorybutcher.com, and I stocked up on all kinds of meat. So I have like probably a quarter of a cow, a grass-fed cow, out in my freezer. And we have all kinds of stuff. We have chicken and we have ground beef, we have bacon. And I told my husband, I don't care about anything else. You know, if the air conditioning goes out and I need to get to a hotel, I'll just get in my car with my dog and we'll get out of here. You can come too if you want. But I don't want all that meat to go bad. And I told him, I don't think I could cook that meat up fast enough. And I can can it, but I can't promise that I'm going to have time between now and when the storm hits, probably Wednesday-ish, maybe Thursday, to really do a whole lot of canning. But pressure canning is certainly a really good option, and just for times like this. But he's going to make sure that the freezer is going to be just A-okay with the generator. And we have in our bedroom, we have, it's a certain kind of an air conditioning unit that sits up on the wall. And it really makes our master bedroom cold. That was kind of a gift from him to me when I was dealing with hot flashes. And he said, I will make it all better. So I now have, and he told me just over the weekend, it can also run on solar and a generator. So we're going to make sure that that capability is there. Okay, so that's my generator. The next on my list, I have one of these, and I'm going to begin filling these with water and making sure they're sealed really tight because I don't need bigger problems in my life right now. I don't need these leaking everywhere. But I'm going to fill these with water and lay them flat. So I will have a series, and it's really, if you've never, this is how we store our ground beef. We just put them in one of these and we flatten it out and then we stack them, maybe 15, 20 high in the freezer. But I'm going to stack some of those, and just when they're frozen, I can slide them in different little nooks and crannies in the freezer. And those will come in handy. And on my list, keeping up to date to the minute with laundry and dishes. All right, if there's wind, my big concern with the tropical storm Laura, she'll probably turn into a hurricane very shortly. My main concern is the wind. So not so concerned with flooding where we are. Our house has never flooded. Even in Harvey, we didn't flood. But I am concerned with wind because we have just huge amounts of big trees all around us. And I was telling a friend of mine, I think it was Mitzi last night, we were chatting, and I said, I don't want to die crushed underneath an 80-foot pine tree. All right, so for me, the wind is going to be the big issue. And then, of course, with the wind, the power lines can come down as well. So it could be weeks of a power outage. I'm hoping for the best. Space City Weather, they're warning people, but they are not, getting into some kind of a hyper hysteria level yet mode. But maybe they're saving that for later. maybe that'll be tomorrow. But anyway, staying up to date with laundry, staying up with making sure we don't have any dirty dishes. My dishwasher is run, and so we start off with a clean slate. So that actually is a really good rule of thumb for you as maybe there's a tropical storm headed your way or a big winter storm. You want to start off with a clean slate. So the laundry's done, the dishes are done, you have some meals cooked. That's on my list for later today. Yesterday I thawed out chicken breasts. I thawed out 2 or 3 pounds of ground beef. It's just my husband and I right now. A couple of steaks. I think I'm going to cut those up actually for a stir fry. And I thought out a big roast. So I figure that by the end of today, the end of tomorrow, I'll have several meals in the refrigerator ready to go. And that way I don't have to worry about cooking. We can use our paper plates if we want, if there is a power outage. But cooking those meals is probably the last thing on my list. But I can do it while I'm doing everything else. So that's just a live report. And what we're doing here in kind of southeast-ish Texas, I love rain. We need rain, which is going to be the awesome part of this. But no one needs flooding, and no one needs toppled trees or extreme wind damage to their roofs or anything else. If you can think of something that I need to do, then put it in the comments, and then I'll let you know if that's on my list or if it's something I've taken care of. Not concerned at all about food. We are doing well with food storage. However, just before Harvey hit, I don't know what got into me, but I started to think, what if we're, stuck at home, which we were. What if we're stuck at home? We don't have anything to do. What are we going to want? Ice cream. So I went to the store and I bought 3 gallons of ice cream, which I never, ever, ever, ever do. But the ice cream was kind of nice to have. So I don't know if we're going to go the ice cream route this time around. But for sure, we have the stored food. I asked my husband, do you have enough of your diet? Here's Coke Zero and his Diet Dr. Pepper. So making sure that he has that. Other than that, I think we're going to be okay. But if there's something you can think of that I should do or consider, then let me know. As far as getting out of town, if we really felt we needed to, here's the problem. Our town is like this, and the roads coming in, if those get flooded, then we're just kind of stuck here. So we would have to make a call pretty early on if we wanted to get out. With Harvey, it took a while for the flooding to become so extreme that the highways actually were flooded over. So no one is anticipating it because the flooding of Harvey was actually man-made. That was actually created by individuals who made decisions upstream to release a crap load of water without, telling anybody downstream. And so if you've heard stories about families waking up and their houses were filling up with water and there were people outside telling them to get on their roofs, that was my town, and it was all man-made. So I think a lot of lessons have been learned. They have been lowering the lake levels up north and northeast of us, or wherever those lakes are. They've been lowering the water levels, and people are just going to be smarter this time around. So that's all I have to say for now. Just wanted to touch base with you, and I hope you have a great day. Do something today to get better prepared. In my Survival Mom Bootcamp group, and that's where this is appearing live, Tasha asked a question about generators. And I put a link there with, I have a little self-assessment. Do you need a generator or not? And I'm going to go ahead and post that on its own in the Survival Mom Bootcamp. So if you've wondered about a generator, the size, the type you might get, pros and cons, that is going to be part of that self-assessment. Okay, so I'm going to take care of that right now. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.